Welcome back to the channel. Today doing something a little different again with testing a bit of the damage model, the 300 versus the 338. Alligator Shoes in the Discord brought it to my attention that that cavity damage, how the bullet expands, can be different depending on the caliber used. So I decided to use the two biggest rifles just to sort of take a look at it because apparently it can be significant on the different calibers on how it damages the organs in the animal. So like before, I'm going to show the results of the hunt first, just to kind of get the details out of the way. So what I did is I went and took out a moose cow, fairly close range from the front, so I'd get the full cone in the shot here of the damage between the 300 and the 338. So this is the 300's cone here, and these cones are fairly consistent depending on whatever animal you're hitting, and that's the cavity damage, right? So it's kind of maybe hard to see on the screen, but the 300 will enter and then slowly expand and then spike in the middle and then expand out. So that sort of shape can be important depending on the shot placement. And we're finding that this 300 spike here does a whole lot of damage where it spikes around it, so it will take things out that maybe the 338 will not. Even though it doesn't really matter since there's such strong calibers to begin with that the animal's pretty much done for, but it is kind of interesting that the developers took the time to sort of model the different cavity damage of each ammunition in there, and it does make a significant difference in some of the lower calibers as well. But that's sort of the standard 300 one there. And the next one's going to show the 338. So it's just a different angle, but the 338, it gradually increases so it doesn't spike so soon and then gradually falls off, but the cavity damage keeps going for a longer time. And that is a more consistent, or not more consistent, but that's the consistent shape of the 338 as well. So it's not only just like the joules of damage between the calibers, obviously 338 is more, so it'll penetrate farther. But how they implemented the cavity damage is different between the calibers too. So this video is just looking between the 300 and the 338. But you'll notice I want to do another video with the 243 versus the 7mm because they're about the same joules of damage or penetration in power. However, their cavity damage is different, and that makes a huge difference in those two rounds. So I want to take a look at that one too. I did shoot the smaller deer species, the whitetail here, with the 300, so you can see the cone just a bit different, so it'll spike up there. And then sort of tapers off and ends. So 300 is very location based where that damage goes. And then if I switch over to almost the exact same shot, I was kind of surprised with myself. The angle's different, but the bullet enter is almost the exact same spot. But you can see the pattern is the same with the 338. So those patterns repeat, and it's kind of interesting that they modeled that in. The other interesting thing is the 338 took out the right lung on this deer here, and the 300 did not, but it took out the liver. So that's kind of showing in the shot. It's kind of hard to see here, but in the video you can sort of see the 3D as I pan around with it. The 300 didn't expand so fast, or expanded after the lung, while the 338 kind of caught it, but didn't go as far. So it's kind of, it's hard to get the shot placement right on. But that's sort of what we're looking for in the video. And just one more thing before I jump into the hunt there. We're not sure of this, but it does appear that this cone kind of orange damage area can be different for the ammunition as well. Like the cavity damage will have more effect than the other ones. It's just sort of interesting that the developers put all that in. But I do want to do another video with the other calibers as well. But for now, so remember I did record this after the hunt, but I'm going to show the hunt now. Me trying to do the testing, and you can get kind of a better picture with the 3D image in it. So see you in the video. Oh, here we go. I'm excited to test this out. I'm going to jump in the Sunshine Jeep. And I think I know just the moose cow to try. Oh, here's test number one. Oh, I need you to turn this way. And for it to work, I need him to be straight on. 300 first. No, straight on. Can you turn this way? Basically, I want to aim center mass and get as much bullet travel as I can. No, I don't want your nose. No, lift your nose. Lift up. Ah, you bugger. Come on, turn this way. You can do it. You need another call? Perfect. Turn this way. No, no, you gotta face me. You gotta face me for the test to work. Okay. Alright, so that was closer than I wanted for the test. But let's take a look here and see what that looks like. See if it got her nose or not. Alright, so there it goes. We got the heart shot. And what we're looking at to compare is the cavity damage, where the bullet expands. So the bullet entered right back here and then started expanding immediately and met its height right about here. So it's this shape, what we're comparing here. And maybe it's a little easier to see if I zoom out a bit more actually. You can see that shape as I rotate it around. That's what the 300 shape will be. So this is what we're looking at when I'm comparing the two weapons and all the other weapons. Is it might be hard to see there, but it does increase here and then expands rapidly right at this point and then kind of tapers off. So that is definitely the shape we're looking for, and we're going to compare it to the 338. And this is where all the interesting stuff comes in. Huh, all the moose disappeared for my test here. Where'd y'all go? Okay, I got two coming in here. Gotta get the 338 ready. I want the mature one, not the young one. The wind's blowing right after the mature one though. But to keep it fair, I want to make a close shot. Well, I really want the mature one, not this young one. Oh well, I'm not going to have a choice, am I? So when she kind of lifts up. Alright, so that should show what I need it to show. So that's about the same distance. Even though the distance doesn't really matter for this test. It's mainly just looking at the shape of that cone. I'll take a look here. Alright, so there it goes in. Let's take a look, see what it does. And this is the important difference here. So there's some expansion there. And see the differences here. There. So basically, I'm just going to take two screenshots of both of these, and you'll be able to see a difference in the way that cone shape works with the cavity damage there. So this 338 doesn't spike as soon as the 300, but it does grow. It looks like it grows bigger and then tapers off more slowly and more slowly, and kept doing the concavity till the end. So that's this is interesting to look at because every single ammunition in the game is going to have a different form here. Now I also want to do a broadside on the smaller deer species, so we'll use these mule deer because I think there'll be a difference with the smaller animals as well, even though you never really use these rifles with them other than calling purposes, but it's I want to see if it's showing a difference in how it produces the cone. So I'm just going to wait here for one of them to turn broadside. That one went away, so it looks like this is the victim here. Ah, my test deer just got up and trotted away. Didn't even slowly turn. She must have fell behind and trotting up to the herd up here. Okay, they're coming out to the river again, and I just moved to chase them, and now they're coming back to the same spot. Alright, so I just need to pick one now. Do you have any? I can use adult, or like males. You're fine, you can get bigger. I guess we'll just go for her since she's there. No, she's gonna turn. Oh, come on. No, don't go away. Perfect, let's try this one. No! I want broadside, or as close as I can to it. If they would stop. I don't know where the rest of them are. Oh, they're gonna stop to eat up there, good. Here's the rest of the herd. Oh, there's one there, broadside. Oh, I was already standing. This is going to work. Whatever you are, I'm going to take you. Alright, she's going to run down the river. That might be a little hard to track. But she can't go very far with the 300. Ah, there she is now. So let's go take a look at the cone shape here. Oh, shot a bit back there. So not quite the broadside I was looking for. But oh well, it's just, it's all about the cone shape. It's a bad shot. But that cone shape, where it lands and starts and how big it gets affects what other areas you damage here. So because that cone reached out to the right lung, it got the right lung. Now the bullet didn't touch the liver at all, but it did full damage to the liver because it's in here to that cone, because that cone's in there. So that's the important shape. It probably looks a lot like the moose though. Maybe a bit more clear actually. I guess because it's a smaller animal, the cone just appears bigger. But you can see how it kind of expands up and it gets really big here and comes out. And then tapers off and then has no cavity damage afterwards. Alright, we're going to be using the Lapua 338. Very similar kind of position here. Wind's to the right though. So we'll try this deer here. Oh, she's going to step forward of course. Wreck my shot. Stay on that angle though. Where's she turning away here? Oh, there's another one I can use maybe. Oh, I can inch over there and still see the shot. Not quite sure where it hit, but still should serve the purpose of seeing the cone difference here. So she went up that way. Looks like they're all going to follow her. Okay. Okay, so here she is. Let's take a look. Yeah, almost the same kind of shot. So another bad shot, but almost identical, so this should be interesting. I'll have to take a look back at that one. So it's coning out too. But yeah, much bigger cone. And much wider at the back too. Yeah, so let's see that. So here's something different, right? That's just placement. It didn't knock out the liver. I don't really know why. I guess it's just the 300 was a bit higher maybe. But it got that right lung. Anyways, that's the differences kind of looking at because it can be different between all the different ammunitions. Another big one is if you're looking at the 243 versus the 7mm, you'll have a definite difference between that. Maybe I'll do a little video on that as well. So just a little short hunt for today. I just wanted to showcase that because I was never paying that much attention to like how that cone was different for each of the ammunition types. So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind, you know, when you're picking your favorite weapon or you're comparing the two together. Like I was saying earlier, the 243 and the 7mm, that one's kind of a big one in the community. Everyone's trying to figure it out or wondering about it because the jewels are about the same of each weapon. So that one is like a more clear one of why it's significant on the expansion of the bullet and the cavity damage. But yeah, that's it for now. So a bit of rambling on there at the start of the video, but hopefully it sort of makes sense and can help some people out. So thank you very much for watching and take care.